Today I'm doing a small iBGP lab just to show how the routing works. I've already set up all the physical interfaces and some static routes so all the routers can see each other. We're going to be using the loopback interfaces to make neighbor relationships between BGP. So if we go over to router 1, we're going to set up our BGP settings and neighbor it over to router 2 to the loopback. And if we go to router 2, we'll set up our BGP settings to set up neighbors to router 1 and router 3. Whoops. Config T there. And then we jump on router 3 and we're going to set up our BGP to neighbor router 2. Go back to router 1. Do show iBGP summary and see that it's trying to make a neighbor relationship with router 2. Now on router 2, if we do show iBGP summary, we can see that it made a relationship with router 1 and it's still trying to make relationship with router 3. If we go on show on router 3, show iBGP summary, we can see that that also came up too. And on router 1, we're going to add in to the BGP config, we're going to advertise another loopback interface, this one here. And on router 3, we're going to advertise another loopback interface, this one here. And what I wanted to show was, if you go on to router 2 in the center here, and do show IP route, you see the center one can see both loopback interfaces, both on router 1 and router 3. But if you go over to router 3 and do show IP route, we're not going to see the loopback. We're not going to see the route from router 1 because in iBGP it doesn't automatically share routes between the BGP neighbors. You actually have to make a full mesh. So what we're going to have to do is go over to router 1 and set up a neighbor config for router 3. And on router 3, we're going to go over here and set up a neighbor config for router 1. So now we'll have a full mesh, and then all the routes will propagate to everyone. And this is because we're using the same AS number, which is iBGP. So if we do a show IP BGP summary, we can see that it is attempting to bring up the neighbor relationship with router 3. Show IP BGP summary on router 3. Oh, looks like it came up. Yep. And now we could go to router 3 and do a show IP route. And we should see the network from router 1, and if we do the same thing over here, you should see the advertised network from router 3, and if we do a ping test, we can ping 192.168.3.1, and we have to source it from our loopback. 192.168.11, and it should ping across to router 3. And we can do the opposite to ping 192.168.11, source it from 192.168.3.1. It should ping back, and there we have it. Full mesh iBGP setup.